This puzzle is an absolute masterpiece. It is white to move and win, so you can pause the video to try to find the moves on your own before we dive into it. Alright, white to move. So the most reasonable move is to get your pieces into the game. So obviously getting the knight, getting the bishop into the position. So the first move that comes to mind is a check with the bishop, right? For example, let's just say their king moves away here to the corner, and then we try to push the pawn, and it might seem that this position is completely crushing for white because this pawn will promote next, the king cannot escape, and this seems like winning. I mean, if black gave us any check, we can just move away, and black doesn't seem like he can stop the pawn from promoting, and that would be totally crushing for white. But instead of the check with the rook, black will be able to do something that will take away the win from us, and that will be a draw. So this move draws the game even though it looks like it's completely winning, because of the brilliant move that black can do here, and that is bishop to e8. This pawn right now, it is pinned. We cannot move it here, we cannot promote. And you might say, well, we can just take their bishop with a check. I mean, that's good. But they just take with the rook, and this position is a draw. So that's why this line with the bishop to d5 does not work. So we have to do something else. And also we have to make a forcing move, because if anything happens, then we might lose our pieces because they are relying on each other to be defended. So the first starting move, it is f7 check. Good job if you managed to find it. Now if the king went to the corner, obviously this is winning, mate in 1, so they have to play king to f8. Okay, the king is on a dark square, so that means that our bishop is completely useless because it cannot give checks. So the only piece that can check the king and try to help us promote the pawn is the knight. We cannot give a check here, right, because that is protected. We have to move our king in a way that we keep protecting the pawn and also get in with a check, right? So we have to play king to f6. So this is a very reasonable move. And the idea here is very simple. The pawn is controlling the king and also the king doing the same. So knight g6 will be checkmate in 1. That is our threat right now. And they cannot do any check because this is on a dark square, meaning their bishop is completely useless. But they can play this move. Bishop c2. We can't play this check because if we did, they will just sack the rook for the knight, give a check, win the pawn, and that's a draw. So that doesn't work. And knight g6 also doesn't work because, well, they played bishop c2 for a reason. They're trying to stop us from playing knight g6. So it seems like they stopped our checkmate threat. It's up to you right now to find a way to enable that threat again. How can we get the checkmate either by knight g6 or knight e6 check? How can we do this or this? Well, we have to block these pieces from attacking one of these two vital squares that we need. And that's by playing bishop to e4. Very beautiful move. The idea here that we are forcing black to make a bad move. Like their king cannot move, so they either take with the rook or they take with the bishop. And the most important thing that if they don't take, well, we have 2 checkmate in 1s like that we can choose from, right? So if they take with the rook, for example, yes, they are stopping us from playing knight e6 check, but they're blocking their own bishop, so we can play knight g6, and that is checkmate in 1. And if they took with their bishop, yes, they are defending here, but we have the other checkmate because their rook is now blocked. So it's a very fascinating mate in 6. Tell me in the comments if you managed to find it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Thank you for watching.